Hey, good Sunday morning, everybody. This is First Warren Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there as well. Let's get right to what's going on with the winter storm. Obviously, we've had the upgrade to a warning for areas across the foothills and the mountains. And again, as you saw yesterday, this is the area I'm really concerned about right here for the highest potential. We're still under a winter storm watch here. We haven't been upgraded yet because there's still some uncertainty about what's going to happen further south, and it might be a lot less stuff, which means we could eventually be upgraded just to an advisory. Remember, a winter weather advisory is an upgrade from a winter storm watch, so just be aware of that if we see that upgrade. Just means we're not going to see as much stuff. Here's the current situation. We're in the mid-20s now. It was really cold this morning. It's also incredibly dry. Dew points across the Piedmont are actually below zero to around zero, but they're coming up. The system itself is back here over parts of the middle Mississippi River Valley, and you see some of this looks like snow falling. None of this is reaching the ground right now. This is basically snow falling from the clouds and evaporating before it reaches the surface. It's all aloft, but this is going to help moisten up the atmosphere a little bit as the main batch moves in from the west. So let's go right to the model data. Now that we're into this setup here, we're going to go right to the short range models. And the first model we're going to look at is going to be the NAM model. The first thing you notice is here's our system doing a pretty good job of where the snow is actually reaching the ground. Here's our Arctic high just to the north. Here's our low back here. It's kind of tracking off in this direction. A couple things that's interesting about the NAM is that you see the high moving out the same time the low starts heading our way. We get kind of what we call dry slot. And what I mean by that, overnight, after 2 a.m., we start to see some light precipitation try to develop. But notice all the heavy stuff is well to the north. We've got this area down here we call the dry slot, which is moving in. So this is why we're not seeing huge totals overnight, and probably not much of an impact until, I'd say, right around 5 to 7 a.m. And the first thing you notice tomorrow morning is we've got a wintry mix. This is sleet and orange, by the way. Sleet, freezing rain, and snow. And again, I wouldn't put too much stock in these exact placements because these could shift a little bit. But notice that there's still, most of the storm is back to the southwest. The low itself is actually trying to develop back towards Shreveport. So this is all what we call overrunning. So from Charlotte south, it doesn't look like a lot of precipitation right now. And as we go towards, I'd say, noontime, we've got some freezing drizzle and rain, but it's really light. And then we get towards 1 o'clock. Things kind of shut off, it looks like, as the dry slot develops. We go into the afternoon, and it's kind of drizzle, probably freezing drizzle or light drizzle. And then things kind of dry out into the evening. Now the precipitation and the main low are back here, start to crank up and starts to move our way. But by this time, things are warming up pretty quickly. This is overnight tomorrow into Monday or into Tuesday morning. You see it kind of change all back to rain. So this becomes mostly a rain event with some lingering freezing rain up against the mountains. Again, the area under the winter storm warning. One of the things I like to look at is called the soundings, which is basically how cold or warm the atmosphere is through the whole layer of the atmosphere. And this is for Charlotte. Notice around the Charlotte area, freezing drizzle and sleet early tomorrow, but by 1 o'clock it changes to drizzle, and then just good old-fashioned heavy rain going into Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at what the Weather Prediction Center is saying as far as potential snow. This is the probability of 2 inches of snow. Notice 0% in Charlotte, and really you have to go up to the mountains. As far as ice, though, you can see right around Charlotte we do have at least a 10 to 20% chance of a tenth of an inch of ice, and the big concern area again is right in here. A couple other things I like to look at are basically what's called the meteograms from the. Basically, these are the meteograms you look at for how much snow or ice is going to fall. This is for Charlotte. You can see not a whole lot there. We look at the Hickory area, a little bit higher, around 1.5 inches, but most of the models are down here. So all in all, as we take a look at the updated maps, I kind of changed these just a hint. I'm still going with a trace to 1 inch of snow or sleet across the Charlotte area north, 1 to 2 possibly. That might be a little high. And I've cut down the totals up in the mountains to maybe 4 to 6, and that might still be high. Ice, though, this is the big story. Ice is our biggest concern. It will not be snow. I still think we'll have a light glazing, mainly because of freezing drizzle, but this area right in here, Interstate 40 corridor, 0.2 of an inch to maybe 0.3 of an inch, that's the area that would be the biggest concern to me right now. So that's the latest. The worst weather is going to be in the mountains and foothills. Even in Charlotte, a lot of folks say this might miss us, might not be a big deal. It will be a big deal tomorrow morning because even though it's incredibly light, everything is cold, everything will freeze on contact, even the light stuff, at least for the first half of tomorrow. So it will be slick travel through midday, and conditions will improve dramatically as we go into the afternoon hours. But tomorrow morning, even though it's really light stuff, it could make the road slick. I'll be in tonight. We'll have live updates throughout the evening, and starting at 11 o'clock, I'll be on the air. And of course, we'll have you covered tomorrow morning as this thing unfolds. Hope you have a great Sunday, and if anything changes, I'll probably do another update later tonight. But until then, enjoy your Valentine's Day and get ready for a little bit of ice tomorrow morning.